Hi, everybody. Nick Blazier here with another position analysis video. And today we're covering interesting 5-3 I encountered in club play in Madison, Wisconsin here just a couple nights ago. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, weekly tournaments on Tuesday nights in Madison, Wisconsin here, playing against a tough player in Keen Marin in the club here. And encountered this 5-3 at a trailing score and all kinds of fun stuff going on. And you can take a second to look at that and think about what you would do, and we'll talk about it and the dilemma I had. I think, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But real quick before we start into it, just want to share again too that I'll be live for the Cherry Blossom tournament, for Ben Friesen's tournament. We're really excited about this one. I know he's trying to do a lot of new things to make this an exciting tournament. Hoping to work with Blunderblots to make some cool videos out of it so you guys can keep up with it away from the tournament too. But yeah, we're really excited to be working on that one, and that starts in April. So come hang out with us. But back to this position. I think your first instinct, so if you can't tell in this game, this is follow-up from a double fives blitz. And presumably I slotted or hit loose at some point trying to fight back. Got on the back foot. I'm in the air. I entered one. And my opponent with only 9 in the zone is still trying to follow up on that at a score where it's difficult to play for gammons like that too. But of course, I'm just hoping to enter anything to keep the blitz off here. And so as soon as I roll a 5-3, I see I can make the 20-point anchor. And that feels like the way to keep the blitz off, is just to anchor before your opponent can close you out, and then you play a holding game and it's fine. But when I looked at the play, it looks like, okay, when I do that, I have blots everywhere, 3 more of them, and 4s hit, 3s hit, 6s hit, 1s hit. Can I really afford to make a play like this? Am I actually saving gammons by anchoring up, which is what we're hoping to do? And I felt very confused about it. Of course, we can look at hitting as well. Typically, all things equal, if we can hit against only 8 checkers in the zone, it can be a competitive option here, and it sends a third back, which weakens the blitz too. But here I thought there were just, too many returns and blots, and I don't have anchors slotted and all these things. Like, it looked a bit too scary to go for that. So I had ruled that one out mostly. But when I looked over all those hits, the last compelling option that came to mind, and that I had to do a lot of work to convince myself to make over the board, was this top play here. This just make the 5-point. So if we look at this in the final position, after playing the 5 in and covering with the 3, well, we don't have an anchor against the blitz, which is not what we're hoping for. And our opponent's gammons are still sky high at 38, so we're risking a lot. But as it felt there, looking through all the other plays lose even more gammons than that. And they don't win as often either, because we're not making a board point in front. And so what I thought here, what kind of led me to this play, was that, I've reduced the number of shots that are going to hit a blot at least. And the indirects, as well as the hits outside here, at least I have a checker on the 20 and the 23, where I should probably have a roll or two where I can establish an anchor anyway. And I'm not in such a hurry to have the 20-point reduced contact. The 23 is pretty strong here, down this much in the race with all these, checkers committed to points and board already. So it felt like this can still go right a lot of the time. And then even if my opponent hits loose, well, when I hit back, it's a little worse because they're behind structure now. Going to make it a little more difficult for these 2 checkers to escape. So of course we can see the upside when we get away with this of how we might win more. And it also just links up a blot in the same way back here it did. So it just makes our position feel a little less loose. So yeah, I thought this was a really challenging one because it feels very, when you're being blitzed, you're not thinking at all about how do I create my own offense in general. You're just looking for a chance to anchor up and try to consolidate before you're blown off the board. And so when presented with a roll that does that, it was very strange to look at and just be like, can this be right? Can I even do this? Can I even take a cube after I play this? And I don't know at a leading score if Keen was going to send it. We can see by the equity here that actually I would have to pass the cube after this. That Keen should double this on the more gammons and the more wins and just claim it now. Because yeah, what am I hoping? It's just every number hits and I can still lose a ton of gammons even after I've anchored just dancing against a 4-point board. So I think that's a big feature here, is that the 4-point board is quite a bit different, than our early blitzes with a 3-point board. And, when we get hit, we might enter more easily. And this having checkers down on both the anchors we want to make with minimal ammunition in the zone, I think plays a big role in it too. So I thought that was a tricky one. And it's interesting to look at too, but maybe the score helps me find this a little bit, like fearing gammons less. But as we can see, like we lose less gammons, so this should be right at normal scores as well. The only play of these three now in a typical money game that allows us to even take is going to be making that 5-point, and it's still by a very wide margin. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this one tricked anyone looking at it over the board, if you would just do this automatically. I thought it was very challenging to like our default plays of anchoring or hitting basically, and it's hard to even pause to look at the other side of like, what if I just made a board point? But yeah, it was a neat one, and as soon as I did look at it, it seemed to have a lot of merit. So it was a cool one to wrestle with over the board, and one that I'm happy to have gotten right in the moment by such a wide margin there too. Let me know what you think of that. I hope you guys are enjoying the position analysis still. I'll be back with more soon, and until next time, everybody, bye for now.